Episode 5, What He Said, What Men Never Say Out Loud. Bradley smiled at his wife of 7 years while she cooked dinner. Their 2 kids were laughing and playing in the living room as he walked past them down the hall to the master bedroom, where he quietly locked the door behind him. He had finally built a life that was good, great even. So why was he just seconds away from ending it all? Welcome to Chocolate Lemon's Travel Cafe, where your story is always on the menu. We're glad you stopped in as we dish out real conversations around health, wealth, and relationships. Our menu is a fun-spirited experience, cooked up to inspire and challenge the way that we approach life. One story, your story, at a time. So pull up a chair and let's get better together as we serve up sweet advice when life turns sour. Bradley was the guy everyone thought was fine, the one who could make people laugh even on his worst day. The father-to-be who held his wife through the pain of miscarriage to the mixed feelings of joy and fear as he held their firstborn. The husband who pushed through job loss and rejection letter after rejection letter until he finally found a job that brought in just enough to let his wife stay home with their 2 young children. Bradley was no stranger to stress and chaos. It was nothing new. He was only a few years older than his oldest daughter when his dad was killed in a wreck caused by an underage drunk driver. Shortly after his father's accident, his mom opened a revolving door of live-in boyfriends and an ironically destructive relationship with alcohol. Before we go any further, if you feel like you're in a hopeless place right now, you do not have to carry this alone. Reach out to someone you trust, or if you're here in the U.S., dial 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. If you're outside of the U.S., look up your local hotline, or find a trustworthy organization online. There are people ready to help. Your story isn't over. It's still being written. To the outsider looking in, what seemed to happen in a split second actually took years to wear Bradley down to the point where he saw himself that night crying on his bedroom floor, staring at the possibility of not being here tomorrow. From a young age, men will learn to shapeshift and fix. 1 minute we're the joker, the next we're the motivator, even the bad guy on occasion. More importantly, we'll do anything to keep others from noticing what's breaking us down. Nobody saw it coming, not even him. So I have to ask, are you, Bradley? Maybe you're the happy one, the smiler, the one who always asks how others are doing, who listens, who helps people through their problems, never asking for anything in return, forgetting that even the encourager needs encouragement from time to time. Maybe you're the funny one, always getting people to laugh, the life of the party, but no one knows you're not laughing because life is good. You're laughing so no one will ask you questions. Or maybe you're the motivated one, the driver, the pusher, the one who keeps the team on track. You light a fire under everyone else just so you can keep your own fire burning, even when you're moments away from burning out yourself. Or the good one, far from perfect, but you stay in your lane and do what you think people need from you. The cashier at the store, the person passing by on the sidewalk, you assume they are carrying a bigger burden than you and need someone's kindness in that moment. So you do what you can to make their day brighter, even if it's just with a smile as you say, good morning. That's what we do. We put on the mask, play the role, make sure no one else sees what's underneath. Because to men, our problems aren't your problems. At least that's what we tell ourselves. The danger comes when the mask fits so well, nobody really notices the real you, not even you. At work, you're supposed to fall in line, do as you're told, or tell people what to do, show up early, stay late, complete every project for a chance to climb the ladder. Burnout? That's not a weakness. That's dedication. Well, until your body says otherwise, or the company decides your position is no longer essential. At home, the bills keep showing up like auto-renew subscriptions you forgot you signed up for. Sure, you might be making more than your dad did at your age, but somehow you feel broker and less fulfilled. A single trip to the grocery store and gas station feels like it takes your entire paycheck. As a husband, you're expected to be a handyman, a therapist, a motivator, and somehow Mr. Romance all before bedtime. What we don't realize is that most women want something simpler and listen without fixing their problems. That's it. Not a yacht or 6-pack abs, although they probably wouldn't complain. Instead, just grab her hand while you're walking into a store and be present. Genuinely ask, How was your day? And stick around long enough mentally to hear the answer. And as a dad, your kids don't care if you work 10 or 12 hours. They care if you'll play tag after dinner and read to them at bedtime. And the never-ending list in between. Dad, can you fix the Wi-Fi? Dad, can you drive me? Dad, can you buy me? Dad, dad, dad. And through it all, your own expectations are to be that provider, that fixer, that helper, the one your family needs. Men usually won't admit it. Ask them how they're doing, and they'll respond, I'm fine. Life's great, more times than not. But behind that, insomnia, anger, headaches, too much drinking, that tight chest that never goes away. IBS, low libido, the list goes on, and so do you, until you can't. That's how men have been conditioned. We'll Google how to fix a lawnmower and the problems around us, but we don't take the time to fix and heal ourselves. We'll tough it out until our bodies break. We'll call it stress, not depression, fatigue, not anxiety. But sometimes that I'm fine you hear really means I'm falling apart. And then Bradley finally hits his breaking point. On the floor, shaking, crying, one pull away from ending it all. He didn't want to stop living. He only wanted to stop the pain. He didn't want to die. He wanted to feel alive. And what he did mattered. He wanted the voices in his head to quiet down. He wanted the pressure that wouldn't quit to subside. But even then, when he thought of his kids, he would lie and tell himself they'd be better off without him, and they'd be okay. Today, you might be sitting in Bradley's shoes and know exactly what that feels like. Seconds away from giving up completely, while everyone else around you thinks you're just fine. And that's when Bradley felt it. A gentle nudge, a warm breath on his arm. His dog, Cooper, pushed his way onto Bradley's lap, looking up at him, head tilted, eyes locked, like he knew. Dogs have a way of seeing past the mask. They don't care about your job title, your mistakes, your failures, the past due bills, or what you did earlier that day. They just know when you're hurting. And Cooper, in that moment, wasn't letting Bradley go. And then he heard it. Little voices through the door. Daddy, dinner's ready. Knocks and giggles coming from the other side. Daddy, they scream. Mom said we can all stay up and play a game after dinner if you hurry. There's still time. Their faces flashed before him. Their laughter, the thought of them growing up without a dad, or worse, with someone else in his place. Someone who wouldn't protect them or love them the way he did. Before that night, he thought counseling was for the weak, for those who couldn't manage life on their own. The next day, he saw himself walking into a therapist's office, and a few minutes later, he sat there bawling his eyes out as he shared his lifelong struggles and the guilt and shame thinking he wasn't good enough. Today, Bradley shares his story and how Cooper pulled him back from the edge, and how the sound of his children's laughter reminded him that life was indeed worth living. Maybe today you're sitting in Bradley's shoes, knowing exactly what that moment feels like, seconds away from giving up completely, while everyone else thinks you're fine. Bradley didn't give up. He kept going to therapy. He learned how to handle his anxiety in a healthy way instead of burying it. He still laughs and smiles, but now the smiles and laughs are real, not a mask used to hide. Healing doesn't erase stress. It changes how you carry it. It lightens the load. The strongest thing a man can do isn't to carry it all alone. It's letting those around you help carry the burden and be there for one another. In reflection, Bradley was one choice away from ending it all, one moment from disappearing, forever changing the lives of those closest to him. But the love of his dog pulled him back. Cooper, nudging, pressing, refusing to leave his side. And the ultimate wake-up call? Standing outside that locked bedroom door, the voices of his children calling him, laughing, reminding him he was indeed needed and loved. So if you're listening right now and you're tired, stressed, hiding behind the laugh, you are not alone, and you do not have to carry this alone. If you know of a father or a husband who needs to hear this story today, don't just send this podcast to them. Pick up the phone, call them. You might be the only Cooper in their life, the only kids' voices they will hear before it's too late. Thanks for pulling up a chair at Chocolate Lemon's Travel Cafe. Now grab a to-go box and share a taste of today with someone who's hungry for change. Until next time, let's keep getting better together with sweet advice when life turns sour.